The last aspect, naturalism. And the best way to summarize naturalism is anti-supernaturalism. From the outset, these critical scholars believe that either God does not exist, or even if he does exist, he's inaccessible and unknowable. He certainly can't intervene in history. It's historicism again, but in a more explicit frontier. So they reject the supernatural from the outright. And I think it's important we recognize these things, because these critical scholars, the full critical scholars, not the evangelicals that appropriate some of their conclusions, but the full critical scholars openly hold to these things. It's not a secret to them. For example, I was just reading a book by Alexander Roth on the composition of the Pentateuch. And he says in the second paragraph that as he's approaching the Pentateuch, he wants to examine these things from the most natural perspective possible. And he proposes a possible dialogue with someone saying, but isn't the Bible supernatural? And his response to that is the human mind is not capable of knowing the supernatural. See, he's cut off the supernatural entirely from the discussion of what the Bible is, what religion is, or anything of the like. And so he, and this was published in 1999, by the way, so these things are still alive and well today. They are openly wanting to cut off any consideration of supernatural from the way the Bible was created, from the religion that we have, from our notion of history, or even how we relate in our own thinking abilities, right? Human autonomy, which a human autonomy can just be summarized as cognitive rebellion against the Lord. Where instead of thinking the Lord's thoughts after him, we think our own thoughts after ourselves. And so these are kind of the things that are swimming in the air of these critical scholars. And they provide kind of the base presuppositions behind what happens when they approach books like the book of Isaiah.